President Zelensky says he will sit down soon with President Trump to discuss the progress that has been made in recent weeks. There is one report in Axios today saying the two men will meet this coming Sunday at Mr. Trump's home in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. In a post on social media this morning, Mr. Zelensky said, "We're not losing a single day. We have agreed on a meeting at the highest level with President Trump in the near future. A lot can be decided before the new year. Glory to Ukraine." Well, in his Christmas Day message, the Ukrainian president told his country there were new ideas being discussed.
Some documents are already prepared. As I see it, they are nearly ready, and some documents are fully prepared. Of course, there is still work to be done on sensitive issues. But together with the American team, we understand how to put it all in place.
Well, a short time ago, spoke to us correspondent in Kyiv, Samira Hussein, about what progress has been made in these negotiations.
Well, we know that President Zelensky made it clear, sort of outlined what was in the 20-point peace plan that was being discussed with the Americans and with European allies. And we got a lot more detail about that. And since then, we've seen that there's been a lot more diplomatic activity. We know that President Zelensky spent Christmas on the phone for 1 hour speaking with the American peace envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. And it was after this that we then get this tweet or see this post on social media where President Zelensky is saying that there could be a meeting with President Trump. He didn't give any idea in terms of timing, but did hint that it could happen before the new year. And so it just seems that there's a lot of activity, but we have to look at what we're hearing or seeing from Russia, and they have been really quite quiet. You know, the sense being that this is certainly a peace deal that works for Ukraine, but unless Russia agrees to it, of course, they're not going to get any closer to peace. And remember that all of this is happening while the war here rages on. In fact, just a little while ago, there were air raid sirens here in Kyiv, and power stations, especially in the eastern and the southern part of Ukraine, have really been hammered over the last few weeks. And it's really quite cold, and many people living without any electricity, so no heat and no water.
Yeah, as you say, from the tone of the message, it sounds as if this meeting might come in the next week or so. It certainly sounds imminent, presumably because there are some of these more difficult issues that only can be addressed at a leader-to-leader level.
Yeah, I think that's right. Remember, of course, what happens in terms of territory is a very big deal. And what happens to some of the nuclear power plants? These are some of the thorniest issues that have to be resolved. And I think part of how Zelensky described the conversations with the American envoy was saying that, you know, they have agreed on new timings and new possible meetings. So suggesting that perhaps the conversation are elevating, as you rightly pointed out, to more of a leader level to try and iron out the most difficult issues.